Yo, last time we was up on this terrace, we had Carrie up here. We was doing the tabletop freestyle.
Beatboxing and everything.
We was hammered.
What the deal, world?
What's goody?
Caps, where the hell are we?
We on a roof. We on rooftop views today. Cause listen, we're not confined to nowhere.
Can't hold us down.
We take this show on the road, even when motherfuckers don't even know that we on the road.
Yep.
You feel me?
I mean, we still home.
We somewhere in NYC. Let's put it that way. it's gonna be on the bottom street, somewhere in NYC. Somewhere in NYC. It's your boy Caps, and I'm with
Flacco.
You already know what the deal is.
Welcome back to another installment to this hip hop album review.
Yes.
Where we base all our reviews on lyrics, lyrical content, beats,
and of course album structure. Because if you can't put your shit together right,
we ain't trying to hear it.
Yeah, we're not trying to like who wants a scrambled egg when you can have a nice cheese omelet? You feel me?
True that. And on today's menu, we are hitting up Mr. J. Cole's artist Boss, straight out of Queens.
Yes, Queens, New York. Man. Shout out.
Senegalese out of Queens.
Senegalese?
Yeah, is that how you say? He's from Senegal. I think they call it Senegalese. Senegalese.
Yo, that got a nice ring, bro. I would just want to say that. You know what I'm saying? Like Senegalese.
I think that's how you say
That's cool as fuck.
But nah, he dropped his. I think this is his debut. No, it's not his debut. It's his second album.
Yes.
Second album, Milky Way. It came out 2 weeks ago now, right?
That's correct.
So this date.
Yeah, we're sorry. We're sorry with the delay. We have a lot of things going on. You know what I'm saying? But
shout out to you, my man. So I saw you guys were you got interviewed recently.
Yeah, we did a little interview. We did.
Doing big things over here. This
guy got a little interview.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to Early Red and Red TV. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was pretty dope.
Big shout. It was pretty cool. You know, we touched on some things. You know what I'm saying? But that's for another thing, another time. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
But I'm saying, get on that iTunes, download, subscribe, 5 stars, sucker free SUCKA FRE podcast. But anyway, back to the Casa Flacco,
back to Milky Way
of the back to Milky Way.
But yeah, man. So Homeboy dropped, what was it?
14 songs,
14 tracks. You want to go?
I'll go first.
Take away, brother.
Big shout out to Boss. There's a lot of guys that I feel get signed to these labels that are ran by like larger than life artists. Right now, J. Cole's a larger than life artist. You know what I'm saying? Like he's at the pinnacle. He is a legitimate gatekeeper of what this music, as the culture is as far as the music and how it moves on a commercial scale. Right. He's a guy who has all the ingredients on the plate. Not to diss you other guys, but you know him, the Coles, the Kendricks, I still put the Big Sean's up there. You got the Travis Scotts now. Looks like he's, finally, he might be finally have arrived.
Yep.
But anyway, we're talking about this album. I thought it was an incredible listen. Boca Raton with A$AP Ferg.
That was the first single.
That was the first single. It was a very good feature.
Shout out to Ferg, man. Kills it all the time, every time.
Yo, listen, man. I gotta give it up to the A$AP, but we're gonna keep our attention here. Yeah. Like the Barack Obama special. That was another great record.
Straight lyrics on that one too.
Straight bars. Well, you know what? I think for the most of the part, like he did fucking spit some fucking real bars.
True.
PDA. You know, records like Great Ones. Those records to me like really showed like just his ability to break down bars.
Right.
I thought that he had some storytelling aspects too. I really think that this young man is kind of like the Schoolboy Q of their camp. Where I could see this man doing and being featured on different type of music. Like I could see him on calypso artists and stuff. I could see him on the reggae scene. I could see him doing a reggaeton joint. I could see him doing these type of things. Like he looks like he's a very versatile music maker.
Yep. And he definitely shows that throughout the variety of tracks.
Absolutely. But those are like the songs that I really thought like really stood out. I thought it was a really good listen. The one thing I think the one mishaps I would say is that he has to find a way of getting the storytelling marriage together with when he's proven a point that he could spit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think that's kind of where it kind of falls short. I mean, that's not a bad thing.
Right,
I just
right,
think
right.
that he. The other thing is, I think there was the structure of the album. It was kind of, not that the records are bad, but it's like kind of scattered. So like Boca Raton, that's the fourth song on the album. Like when it came up, it kind of didn't belong there. I wish it would have been actually after Front Desk. You know what I mean? And then to set up the Tribe song. You know what I mean? Like I think that would have transitioned like what the rest of the album was. You know, and the second part of the album, like Great Ones, PDA, Designer, like those are great records, but I still think that like the way the album was flowing, it could have been placed better.
Okay.
So to me, your debut album, I'm gonna give you a 3.5. I was leaning close to a 4, but I think like those are the things that like propel you from like a really, really dope album to like a really, really great album.
Damn near classic type. Genre.
Yeah, but I think like for a first effort, look, not everybody can. His second, but I'm talking about like his first commercially viable album.
Okay.
Like where he's actually
Right,
promoted and.
Right.
I think like it's hard to hit a home run. Like and no, there ain't too many Infamous albums. That's kind of like where it is, like with them to me. Like
Gotcha.
it's kind of like the Infamous. Mobb Deep had an album before that.
Right. Yep.
That was actually pretty good. And the Infamous came out, and that's the one that like picked up their steam. And so I kind of feel like in ways that's the similarity to me. But I do think it's a dope listen. I think like if you on the open road or you're at a picnic or you're at a birthday party, this is definitely a birthday party playlist. You know, a picnic in the park type stuff. Shout out to Bass, you have a fan in me. I'll be on the lookout, but Caps is gonna give you a 3.5.
I respect that, definitely. I just love the opener with his label mate, Ari Lennox, Icarus. Like, her voice is just so soulful and beautiful, and like, the tempo, it slows up and then that bass drops on that intro, like such a dope ass intro, man. That's big for me. Feeling Front Desk, like you said, then you hit the two commercial tracks. Dope. Yep, Tribe and Boca Raton back to back. So you're just, it went from some bump to some serious fucking bump with them two. Then he slows it up with the Barack Obama special, but that's when you start to hear the lyrics, and that's when you start to get a little bit of storytelling, right into Purge, which he, once again, from storytelling that talents there. And now you go into the Fragrance, where this track grew on me because it's very much what this current wave of hip hop is doing. And I guess you're showing his versatility there, like letting you know, like, nah, I'm still a young dude out there, and I'm flexing for the ladies because this is what they want to hear right now. So exactly. I respect that, you know. So I mean, it's not my favorite joint, but now here's where we come. I wasn't a fan of the interludes. Okay. Infinity with Rosie from White Man Can't Jump, and then you get Three Good Women from is that Bronx Tale?
Yes.
You get three women. Right.
I mean, great movie.
Yep. Great. But I mean, I just felt like the timing and it was a little weak. I appreciate it because we're from that era where those interludes were
kind of wasn't geared to the songs though.
Yes, exactly. So it was like, But here's a key here. Track 10, right? Because Infinity Plus 2 was the track off of the Infinity interlude, but if you remember pronouncing this right, Sanufa. This track here makes you realize how special he is from his family being from Senegal, because not too many artists you'll know that will get on a beat like this, and it truly had some roots to that.
Yeah,
like the beat
got bite to it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like it's coming from a place.
Bumping, knowing that you ain't getting that from on this side of the earth, And I truly appreciate that sound and how we spit on that. Then you're the Great Ones. PDA Designer was such a dope sounding track. Not too crazy on the lyrics, but the hook and the beat and just the tempo of it was super fire. And then once again, he shows the Senegal roots, African roots with spaceships and rockets at the end when he has a few features on there. which
I
I'm
kind
sure.
of thought that they could have done without that song.
But
Right.
I think it was more the push for those that he featured on.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So I
absolutely.
see what you're saying, because
Yeah.
he came on, dropped one verse, and then
Yeah,
he
kind of like
disappeared,
got
and then-
disappeared.
So he did, even early in his game, he's pushing others.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I
that's awesome.
truly love that. So like Caps, I too am giving it a 3.5. It initially I wasn't too thing about it, so I'm glad we had an extra week with it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think it's a
Like
lot of.
some of these albums, they gotta marinate with you, and
Yeah,
I
but-
kept playing and kept listening, and shit started growing on me.
I really feel like there's a couple of like albums we reviewed that if we had more time, you could really get the real idea of like the body of work that came
what
out.
they wanted to do. Before I forget, only thing I have to question, and it might be because of production wise and maybe assistance on hooks, but bro, Cole's name is all over this shit. Written, you'll see Cole. I was curious about that, but I think probably because he did produce.
Well, let me
a lot
just
of
let me
joints,
just
so he
clarify.
probably
Let me
is-
just clarify something about the writing thing. Let me just clarify something for the listeners.
As he is
As
he
a
is
person
an
who has
artist, so
penned,
right.
who has penned songs himself,
Right.
when you see written by, a lot of times when you see multiple names, a lot of times a person is writing the melody for you to flunk with. Sometimes a person writes the hook. Sometimes people give you an idea,
Right.
and a lot of times the artist will give that person the credit because they want to put them on as well. So a lot of times, now that's not saying that there aren't ghostwriters and there aren't people that.
There is a difference, basically. You're saying it's not like they're ghost.
I don't think that you could just clutter it in one thing.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong. There are artists that they write everything. They write the
Soup to
hooks.
nuts.
They do the cadence. They're as
Odyssey. Sorry.
Right.
Huh?
So right. So like no, but there's certain guys that are that involved in their creative process that they are going to do everything.
Soup to nuts.
But and just like take critiques from the production standpoint. So like the producer saying, well, you know what, you should hit this, you should come in a little harder on this, or I didn't really you could have really put more energy on this, or let's let the beat build before you jump. Like those are things that the producer and the artist work on.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? But so sometimes when you look at it when it's written by, sometimes, but it's a lot of it's to the imagination of the people, because sometimes you listen to their bars and you're like,
You know who wrote that?
you don't have that in your tool shed.
What
like,
does that sound
yeah,
like?
you don't have
What does that
you don't have that.
sound
You don't
like?
have that in your tool shed. I'm not sure about that. Like we would have to research
Yeah,
that a
no,
little more.
definitely we gotta dig deeper. But I'm just saying, it's something that I caught, and it made me wonder. But also, J. Cole is just that dude. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. And I know Boss is a true talent, so it's nothing against him. But I just did peep that. So it was more like I'm thinking like, is Cole going the route of like a Pharrell with his beats, where he coming with hooks too? He dropping beats and hooks, like
Could be.
2 for 1. You know what I mean?
He's
Which
that
is
talented.
dope. He is that talented. So it's not a major thing, because the consistency and the flow and the bars were there.
But
Performance.
unlike a Pharrell, I think Cole, like the TDE group, they allow their artists to be who they are.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the things I don't like about Pharrell.
Gotcha.
But shout out to Pharrell, you amazing.
Yeah,
Your
gotcha.
fucking
Nah, I
your
feel
catalog is amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that Girl album was unbelievable, and it kind of got overlooked that year. But anyway,
Seriously.
that's a whole nother.
All right.
That's
Back.
a whole nother cast, a whole nother.
Now, 3.5, Captain Flacco, Given the Milky Way by Boss. Dope listen. You guys have to please do check this out when you
Absolutely,
get a chance.
absolutely.
But we're gonna skip.
You're gonna skip what?
We're gonna switch things up a little bit.
Okay, okay.
We're gonna switch it up, because normally we're going to the next album review.
Yes,
but
yes.
We gotta save that for last. I mean, this shit is this done shook up the fucking
I
summer.
mean, it
Well,
did.
well,
Well,
end
what's
of
left of
summer,
it?
what's
The
left
Labor
of
Day.
it.
It shook up the Labor Day for sure.
Sheesh.
It was barbecue talk
Yes.
everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it was. Oh, it was. Oh, Lord of mercy.
So we were going to paying homage to the one and only Outkast
Boom.
off their second album, AT Aliens,
22 years old.
1990 freaking.
Happy birthday, man.
man.
Happy birthday, man. Shout out to Outkast, man.
96.
Shout out to your shout out to what you gave to this culture, man. Like, you literally put a whole
Fucking state.
no, but you put a whole region
South to South, yeah.
on the map.
Yep.
Not that there weren't people doing music before.
True,
Shout out
true.
to Bum B.
Yep.
Shout out to, UGK. We're not
True,
saying that.
true.
But that, they had 3 back-to-back groundbreaking albums in a row. They had Southern Playalistic, which is my personal favorite, where they were just, we can spit too. And we can have instrumentation too. And we can sample too. Which was awesome. Then you had AT Aliens, which is what we're giving props to now.
Yes, sir.
I think the experimentation of sound, this
Heavy
was
on
like,
this.
I think this was the album that was groundbreaking in that regard.
Yep.
Because it was nothing like you had ever heard. It was a lot of African American invented music on it. There was a lot of jazz in it. There was a lot of rock and roll. There was a lot of blues.
I mean,
there was a lot of funk.
Real simple.
There
just
was a
think
lot
about the original single, Elevators. And remember, just dig deep. If you remember back then, the first time that dropped, we were all on the radio like, what the hell is this?
I didn't even appreciate the album until years later.
Well, right. So just imagine that single was such a like, the hell is going on here? Because the beat was just off key slightly, just off, like the bass was, it was just like, what the, and yo, like everything on that album, it just ruined you and you realize that they were just ahead of the fucking game, dude.
They were ahead of the game. They were
ahead.
Like I said, like their imprint, what they brought, their legacy is cemented. I really feel like there's a lot better groups, but at the time, nobody was ready to take that leap and completely change their sound.
It's true.
And they took the gamble, and the victor goes to the spoils. Because 5 years, 10 years later is when you really, I think your earbuds are a little better and you could actually really appreciate, like, what was accomplished there.
Yeah.
But shout out to the AT Aliens.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Outkast, their whole catalog.
Yeah.
It's just surprising to me that the Purple Tape was 26, had his 26th birthday a month ago. And now we're at this point in time where 20 years plus, AT Aliens is still like a piece of the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
we old, dude.
we old as fuck, man. I told you before, we old heads, man. I mean, he don't look like it, but I'm just saying, like, we some old heads, man. We old as fuck. But again, like, I'm just really happy that we were fucking around to like see that formulate.
Appreciate that in our youth.
Well, I didn't really, but I didn't really appreciate it in my youth. That's my point. Like, I got to be around when it was being created, though, and then being able to go back and listen to it and be like, oh yeah, well, you say that now, but you wait a couple years and put it in there, and then you listen to it, and then you do, and you're like, wow, you know what?
But that's the testament to the
Absolutely.
true craft and the longevity in their work.
Absolutely.
And that's all we can ever ask for of these new artists is like kind of just dig deep to say to yourself, like, yo, when your kids hear your joints, are they gonna like be proud? Like, damn, yo, my dad put it down, my mom's put it down back in the day.
Absolutely.
Versus just these one-hitter quitters, you know.
Exactly.
But
I know that's the climate, but
we
let's
gotta
do
make our
better.
money, so. Make our money, so I can't be mad at y'all. I'm a bump to it that summer. Kiki.
Unbelievable. No, we not. We.
I was just saying. I know next year.
No. He had his segment. He had his turn. He had his turn.
But he's a one-hitter.
No. He had his turn on Captain Flacco. We already reviewed this. So before you even open your face, when the Boz album came out, somebody dropped a surprise album.
No, that was the week after.
The week after, the surprise album.
Yep. Came up out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, man.
From the smoke.
Friday morning, I'm getting mad texts, screenshots, like just over and over. Like, what the hell
You
is
getting
this?
a link from me telling you we
Getting
gonna
links.
listen to this?
And I'm sitting here like, yo, what's Beastie Boys got a remake or something? Like, what the thing looked? I was confused in the morning. Like, is this the Beastie Boys? Like, License to Ill up in this thing? What's going on here? That's what I thought. I thought I had to wipe the cold from my eye to finish my coffee first before I realized what the fuck was going on. I was like, oh, look at this. Marshall Mathers just dropped a new album.
Eminem.
Marshall. Hey, Marshall.
Kamikaze.
Kamikaze.
Out of nowhere.
Like as a plane would be.
I mean, listen, you know,
come out of nowhere.
if it wasn't raining, we would have had like a better view, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, this is a rooftop from anywhere. Don't worry about where we at. You gonna have to drop some jewels on it. You know what I'm saying? So Kamikaze came out by Mr. Marshall Mathers.
Yeah.
Which is really funny because a lot of guys that were under this model that you don't drop an album without a single, without you know, like any type of promotion.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you don't do things like that. That's sacrilege. So it's just weird that you see an artist that never did that all of a sudden starts going that route. So, do you want me to go first? Or do you want to go first? The floor is mine.
What was yours, bro?
The floor is mine.
What was yours, bro?
Mr. Eminem gave us positive 13 tracks.
13
not
tracks.
19, not 22, and interludes and skits. He gave us
What's
13 and 2 skits. So, you know, he gave us like 13 songs.
Yeah.
Very boisterous on this album.
Very, very.
Very bitter.
Extremely.
Sound like a very bitter person on here.
You need a hug, bro.
But no, hold on. You have your time. Let me break this down to the folks.
Sorry.
I thought musically it was his best album since Recovery. I thought sonically he experimented with a lot of different sounds, which is something I appreciate from a person, because a lot of guys they just stay in their comfort zone and they don't. But I'm a content dude. I'm a big content guy. I mean, songs like Stepping Stone, songs like Nice, songs like Good Guy, songs like, you know, Fall. Those are like, when I listen to Eminem, those are the type of songs I like, because, like him or not, that's something that he is emotionally attached to. And whenever you're emotionally attached to something, it's gonna show.
Yep.
And that's something that a listener can sink their teeth into. What I've always disliked about him is that, yes, he can put words together, but again, I'm a content person. I'm from New York. Like, that's what we do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just be putting a bunch of words together in a clever way. Now, that's us art and a skill. That's nothing to take away. Right. And you can put complex bars together. That's awesome. But
kudos.
What am I holding on to? Like
watching porn?
No, not even that.
Eat corn?
No, not even that.
In the morning and
No, not even that.
Oh, not that? You sure it's not?
A song like Rap God.
Oh.
Right?
Oh, forget it. Yeah.
It doesn't make me want to listen to it again.
Seriously.
It's like, oh, that was dope.
Next. Seriously.
So sonically, I thought it was good. The bars, I think, were there.
Yes.
What I will say, and I don't give a fuck if Shady comes after me, because I'll just tag in Joe Budden. But
Savage.
The content, his lyrical content, it has never really rung with me. He's done it in flashes.
Yeah.
Like with Stan, with Lose Yourself.
Done it early in his career.
Right, like Rabbit, which was also a slept on song on the 8 Mile.
Yep.
So he has it in him. Like, he had a song on Revival where he was talking about his daughter. The title's not coming to me. But those are the songs that I like, because it's an in-depth storytelling thing, like from his eyes. Like, it's directly happened to him.
Right.
Like, those are the songs I appreciate from him. What I don't appreciate, and I used to be guilty of this, what I don't appreciate on this album is that he's addressing artists that don't really care.
Seriously.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not trying to.
He's plugging them.
I'm not. No, but he's not plugging them, because his fans don't care either. Their fans don't care either. Their fans don't care. Like, they don't care. It's their audience doesn't care about bars, which is sad, but it's the truth. They're more about the vibe.
Yep. The wave.
You know what I'm saying? And there are some people that do it proficiently.
Yeah.
The Kid Cudis, the Travis Scotts. And they're not really like the big content dudes. Hobson's another one. Those guys, like Hobson has bars and he could do that stuff, but he's more of like the vibe. And that's what these young kids are. But you gotta, keep in mind that in every era, cream rises to the top. So you're gonna have these flash in the pants people, but at some point in time, it's gonna fucking weed itself out. So I personally thought it was a waste of time for him to do that. I really don't. I'm still trying to figure out like why he feels like he has to prove that he's the best rapper at this point in time, which is what I thought that this album was. So the content, not really cool with that, and I wasn't a too much fan of the structure either. I thought it was all over the place. Okay, that's just me as a fan, as a person who appreciates
fan of hip hop.
Yes, a fan of hip hop and
albums,
and a fan of
hip hop albums,
and a fan of his talent.
Yes, true.
And what he did to the game, because nobody could take that away. But I'm gonna give this album a solid 3. I think how it's been received is not what it is. I think that Eminem is at that point in his career where everybody is just gonna go right along and say, oh, it's the dopest thing they ever heard. But like you have to sit and listen, like to me.
Yeah.
So I'm giving it a solid 3. It's not, I can't, like even in his catalog, I can't put this as one of his better pieces of work.
Oh, absolutely not.
So that's just Cap's opinion.
Right.
Like I said, if you want smoke, I'll just tag in Joe Budden.
Respect. All right, bro. So like my big brother said, obviously there's 13 tracks, right? Not counting the Paul skit, the 2 Paul skits, M calls Paul, and then Paul calls him to kind of be like, yo, Em, are you seriously gonna do a whole album mad at the people that didn't like your previous album? Are you really gonna do it? It's a slippery slope? Fam, you really need to listen to people from time to time. I know who you are and who am I to tell you, because here we are with this little Kickstart fucking album review and my Kickstart kitchen cooking fucking...
That was all in it. Like, share, subscribe.
I'm just saying. So who am I, right? I'm grassroots trying to get things together. You are a success. But at the same time, you really do not need to do shit like this. This was fucking pathetic, my guy. I'm so sorry.
Damn.
You straight up pulled a fucking Donald J. Trump with the fucking fake news, right? The fake news this, fake news that, so his success. So therefore, every single reviewer and every single artist that wasn't feeling your last project, I mean, so what? You're not perfect, you're a human being, and that's what makes you special. And you're an honest fucking dude that really comes out there and puts your heart on that pen and paper and spits.
Absolutely.
This is what we love about you. All right, your last joint wasn't the greatest.
No.
So the fuck, I mean, whatever.
Had good flashes though.
It had flashes. My man, you sit like a Batman, because it just was on. When Joker was on the pile of money and he slid down at the end, like, yo, that's you, Em. Like, you slide, you're on a pile of money right now. Why are you sliding down to come and entertain any of us and then go do this, like, such an angry ass fucking album? I mean, yo, and let's break this shit down here, right? The track Normal. When you're talking about you dating your new girl who you think is cheating on you, so you play a disguise, which is kind of dope, though. The story you told on that and the wordplay, but like, you know what? Now, have you ever paused and asked yourself, what is wrong with your dick that you continue to attract shit-ass women like this? Have you ever asked yourself that question, Em? Or maybe it's not them and it's you, my guy. I don't know. Maybe there's a little bit of therapy here for you, because you really got to ask yourself that question. So, okay, that track Normal, right? Because I listen to you, family. And then you got Nice Guy and then Good Guy, which is honestly, what you think is slick, that's one track. And you just flipped it because you're talking about your ex-wife again and getting back together, and then it was like, it's her fault, then it's my fault type shit with the same artist, Jessica Reyes, that's doing the singing for you. So she can sing though. No, she can't, which is beautiful. I appreciate both songs, but like to me, that was just one song, and once again, one of the better ones. But once again, you and your women issues. You really gotta ask yourself, bro, is it all of them? Or is it just your dick that attracts fucking shitty ass women? I don't know. But I really don't really care to hear you and your woes at all. But now let's get into the meat and potatoes. Like, yo, the Joyner Lucas track, Lucky You, the both of you rang off. The both of you.
Shout out to Joyner Lucas,
shout out,
bro.
like, yo, I mean, no joke. Not like you and Royce. Once again, the two of you rang off.
Don't ever do an album and never have him featured on it. Don't ever do that.
The two of you rang off.
Don't ever do that.
My favorite track on this whole joint was Fall. And I felt like you were still your bitter self as you were throughout this entire shit, but at least you were able to harness it somewhat there and really put it together and give us a dope
Stepping
track.
Stone was mine.
Stepping Stone is
That's
track
my favorite
7.
song on the album.
Yes, okay. Thank you, brother. All right, so now can we talk about Stepping Stone? Bro, this is why we're here together. How, like, what? You now decide to talk about the D12? Like, now? Now you want to apologize? It almost was like you
I don't think
realized.
it was. I don't think it was an apology. I think it's an explanation.
But he also. But I mean, he did straight out outright say, "I'm sorry" on the track. But I mean, so all right, fine. But an explanation. But why did you decide to put this explanation on this particular album? And the way that this was structured, it almost made me feel as if, like, yo, you realize that you gave us 5 bags of fucking shit in a 2-pound bag. And was just like, yo, I gotta put something with some substance and consistency of my life and something to my real fans out there. And then you put this thing out here about how you're apologizing for the fuck ups of how you felt that you could hold down your crew and you guys not link up with others because y'all thought y'all were the shit, whatever. Like, now, bro, Proof died how long ago? I shot how long? Like. To me, that I see right through this when you probably realize, like, God damn, like, well, I have fucking 12 tracks of, and most of it me just crying mad at the media. You became that disenfranchised white middle class man that voted for Trump, which is something that you apparently hate. This is what the fuck you did in hip hop now to yourself. So kudos to you and your legacy. You fucking totally shit the bed on this, and that's his hope. One positive thing that came out of this was the Machine Gun Kelly coming at you, because I really didn't even know anything about that kid until this happened.
Hold on.
No. This is my time. This is my time. I'm just saying. And then the rant from Buttons the past few days has been awesome. So there is a positive light to this album for me personally.
Gotcha.
But my guy, I could never really stomach you after 2002, and I feel more like it's like your beat selection to your irritating ass voice. And that's not to say, like, I hate the irritating ass voice, but there are many rappers that voice just don't ring off.
Correct.
Like, you like, oh my God, but
right.
They don't go picking beats that, like, magnify their annoying ass voice. Like, yo, I felt like, yo, your beat selections on this thing were just like, oh my God. And then your hooks that you're mocking these new artists and mimicking their style of flow.
They don't care.
They don't care. And you're doing this shit for 5 minutes long, some of these songs. I'm just ready to, like, yo, I was ready. I have no hair, M. And I was ready to pull shit out, my guy. I wanted this fucking album to end.
They don't care. Those
bad.
that generation and fan base, they don't care.
My big brother is super nice to give you a 3, a solid 3. Bro, this is the lowest rating thus far, 2. And I'm saying that with my chest out. I'm not doing it. I'm so happy I could move on from this and not have to. I think I did it. I think I listened at least 4 times. 4.5. 4.5. I'm glad I don't have to listen to this thing again. Thank you, Lord.
As far as this beef go, what is your take on it? And between M, Machine Gun Kelly, and then M versus Joe Budden?
All right, let's address Joe first.
First two that stepped into the plate.
Let's. Well, you know what? Let's start with Machine Gun Kelly first, because he came out with like a musical response.
Yep.
I don't know about y'all, but from what I've lived in life, with the battles that I've seen, like, you have to be proficient. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be proficient. I think for what the standard of today is, yeah, it's passable, but like, there's no real. I don't see, like, just because he called your name out on a song, to me, like, there's got to be more to there's got to be more to it. And I know he made some comments about his daughter, which, if M does respond to him, I think that might be something that gets visited, but to me, it's not. I don't care. You know, like I really feel like the audience for Machine Gun Kelly doesn't care either, because again, like back to like the review, I think that these artists now, like their fan base don't care about who got the best lyrics. They just don't. They're just vibe fans, which is cool. Like that's what the climate is. I think that there's so many different things that are going on with the culture that like the lyrics are not the most prominent thing. You know what I mean? So like to me, I'm not gonna give him this whole big thing and throw the carpet out for him just because he made a response. I'm not that person. Okay. You know, so I mean, shout out to him. Like he went out there, he fucking penned something up,
Right.
and you know, like he's an artist. I mean, the other thing too is like I think a lot of people gotta understand something like hip hop is very competitive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
And with that said, I truly appreciate him to step up to the plate, which not many, especially young artists, would do.
Sure.
And I discovered you off of the strength of whatever you tweeted in 2012 about Haley that got Eminem all up in his feelings in 2018.
absolutely.
Interesting. But I enjoyed the video. I enjoyed the let's talk about it, the little hook you had to it. I enjoyed the slight references about, you know, shady radio snubbing you for interviews and things like that off the strength of quite possibly Eminem being the reason why you're getting snubbed for certain things, and like, you know, your little lead up into, I'm sure you got gems to drop. So I truly appreciate that out of nowhere response, which honestly, like, it turned everybody's heads, because on a Saturday it came already over 1 million views plus going, counting.
Shout out to Machine Gun Kelly. I'll give him that. But I'm not giving a trophy out and saying that the response was dope. That's for me, my money.
I hear you. Okay, so now buttons.
Well, first of all, I don't think M don't want no smoke. M don't want smoke because it's no reward. There's no high reward. You know what I'm saying? Like people are not gonna step up there.
High risk, low reward.
Exactly. It's if I go out there and I made this stupid little subliminal shot of him. Well, it actually was very direct.
Yeah.
But you know, for something that Eminem did himself.
How about to say? Because like,
But-
can a woman like you beat on? Can you talk when you?
I mean, some people can. Some people.
Wow, that's some ballsy ass.
Some people are you know, they
What's
feel
the
that they're at a
glass house
level.
effect,
Yeah,
huh?
of course.
Because
You know,
like
so-
he did too hit his fucking wife.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
So
Interesting. But good.
right, that's one point.
Check the track 4, which is when he addresses that
Right.
about Joe Budden.
The other thing is that a person like Joe Buttons, if he hears something that has some type of substance that's gonna fucking really get into his soul, he's the type of motherfucker you don't want to do that with.
Right.
Like he lives for that.
I
Like I would say him and the Game. Like those guys, you like them or not, you come with that smoke and you mention his name with anything attached to it, those guys are gonna make albums worth of fucking material. You know what I'm saying? But
just ask Drake, because fucking Buttons dropped what? Machine? Like the Rage and the Machine.
Absolutely.
The damn thing was all directed to Drake pretty much.
absolutely. I mean, I think there's a level of respect, but I just think that the history with Joe Buttons and Eminem, make sure you go check out the Joe Budden podcast. It's on YouTube as well. Check that out because it was very insightful, and this is why I feel like he won't ever come out. Like he won't respond to Joe. Like he won't, after that interview, he will not, after that podcast, he will not respond to Joe because there was a level of animosity. You know, there's a level of, J. Cole had a line, and I let Nas down where he said, "Long live your idols, may they never be your rivals." Right? That's just somebody that was a fan of Eminem, watched his career grow, then got signed to his label, and then kind of got shitted on. You know, so there's things within that you know for a fact he's holding in, or he has a point of view, or he feels a sort of way about. So like when you have somebody that has all the answers, you not you don't want that. Like that's not gonna benefit you. If anything, it's gonna benefit Joe Budden.
Right.
You know, and he's on a different wave, and he's got his media thing, but that's not the guy you want to fucking get off the couch and start writing and start getting ready to go on you. And I don't think.
Besides, historically, Eminem never
Well, I know
goes up
what, right.
against-
Well, that was the other point, which was one of the things like during his career, even when he was big, was like, please feel free. Again, you can comment on the bottom. Please feel free and tell me. Go down the list of guys aside from Cannabis, who was already on his last leg out.
Right.
Please tell me who he was getting at that was top class of his era. So. These are things, you know, like these are nerd things that we look at. You know what I'm saying? Like these are nerd things that we look at. And this is why we do this channel, because there's so many things that go on with this. You know, like the reason why Pac and Big
I got
had a
one.
beef.
Papa Doc.
Oh,
He
yeah.
didn't get it. Went over his head for a
He went to
second.
Cranbrook. He's a private school.
It went over his head. Everybody in the 213.
313.
313. Oh, my bad.
But it's like, you know, like when
718.
Royce went through his beef with M, I didn't see him firing back. You know, like there's certain people. I mean, you'll pick on the Ray Benzinos of the world.
Yeah.
You know, you pick on the Everlast of the world. And Everlast clap back on you too. But you'll go after the Timberlakes. You'll go after the R&B chicks.
Britney's, the
You'll go
Christinas.
after the fucking Mariahs of the world. You know, like you'll do that, but
Nick Cannon's too.
the Nick, you go for the Nick Cannons of the world, but like you're not fucking going which way with anybody that was in your class, elite level. You know what I mean? So it's like sometimes you gotta look at that too. Yes, do not get me wrong again. As far as his pen game and his wordplay, and that's not what I'm discussing. I'm talking about in the heat of battle. Is he gonna go out there and really crush Joe Budden? I don't know. Personally, my money's on Joe.
Yeah,
and I'm not the
touched
biggest. And
that.
listen, I'm not the biggest Joe Budden pom fan either. But let's look at his pedigree, like he said on his podcast.
He
let's
don't want
look
no smoke.
Let's look at his Carfax. If you don't believe me, you can go as far back as 2006 when he had the big shot. This on fucking G Unit, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not really too sure about the year right now. I don't have my phone with me because it's charging, but like you go back and listen to that song Big Shot where he was dissing G Unit and went in on them with the Billy Joel sample. Like, and I'm not even talking about the things that came after that.
Right.
Like
Staying
he lives for that. Yeah. Like you do not want that smoke with that guy. I'm telling you. That's all I'm saying. So I don't think it's gonna ever prosper into something, because I just personally don't think after this album is finished and everything's said and done, that Eminem is gonna go out there and try to make it a point to pen something about Joe.
Well, he'll do it on Kamikaze too.
No, I don't think so.
For all the people that he pissed off after Kamikaze.
Yeah, but what's he gonna do? He's gonna come up with another weak bar?
I'm teasing them.
You know what I mean? He might.
Listen, Kamikaze's whole premise was mad at those that were mad at the last album because we didn't like it.
Yeah, but you wanna know what's crazy?
He made a whole album off
Yeah, but you
that.
wanna know what's crazy about that?
Why not make another?
No, but you wanna know what's crazy about that? Which is kind of, to Joe's point, again, watch the podcast. He made it a point where Joe basically pointed out that everything that he was mad about everybody else, he was basically fessing up to on this album. So when Joe Budden said you should have came better at Trump, and he's saying, yeah, I should have. You know, like this is just little things about it that when you look at it, you're kind of you're contradicting yourself, because basically you're trying to shit on people that were critiquing you, people that were your fans.
Yep.
Like a Tyler the Creator. Like, these are your fans, but the things that they critiqued about what they didn't like about the album before is the things that you are fessing up to on this album. So,
Interesting. True.
at the end of the day, I do not think Eminem wants any smoke with Joe Budden.
Well, I'll tell you this much.
I hope it does.
Right.
I hope it does as a fan.
This is enough material for
Because-
us to keep going on alone.
Because I'll tell you,
I hope they.
I'll be honest with you,
it keeps
I hope
going.
it does happen, because I think that it would prove on the Eminem side. If he could go up there and go back and forth with Joe Budden, a guy that's kind of in his weight class,
solidified.
it would really, you could really put teeth on that. No, you could put teeth on that claim that M's gonna body you and da da da. M ain't body fucking no real MC. Let's keep it real here. And all you see on your Facebook feed, oh, he's gonna body Machine Gun Kelly, blah blah blah. Machine Gun Kelly is not an elite level spitter.
I'm curious to see what's gonna happen with that.
But I would love, as a hip hop fan, as knowing like how competitive this shit is, I would love to see Joe get off that couch and see them go back and forth. That's just me. Again.
There you have it, Joe. One last thing before we get out, we do not have a spoon-fed and a secret for you guys.
We
I
don't.
know this one's kind of rushed here. We apologize, but the next
It's not
segment,
rushed. It was too much fucking smoke
that too,
going around.
That too. But we will have two for you guys on the next one. Promise.
We will.
Promise. At least
We
put
will.
something up on the gram for y'all. Anyway.
Absolutely. We could definitely put something on the gram.
But this is Captain Flacco on some fly-ass rooftops.
We on some flyers rooftop somewhere. Remember, like, share, subscribe, and comment, please.
And also, stop making stupid people famous.
You already know. Peace.